everyone, welcome back to a cold night in November. It's the Byzantian Brewscast coming at you live from the center of the United Kingdom, and oh boy do we feel it. It's your host, Kadesh Exaka Byzantian Dev, here to regale your ears with mechs, mysteries, mercenaries, and something else beginning with M.
M&M's.
Yeah, perfect. Not sponsored though, although man, I wish I had a bag of M&M's on me right now. So, what have we been up to this week?
Let's see. Last week, it's kind of quiet. So I forget most of it, so that's good. This week's been a busy one, won't lie. So aside from the Thursday, more Denzel Rose and stuff, there. So yesterday was the longest game of 40k I've ever played.
Oh no!
And these 4,000 point games, man. They just keep on going.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was nice. Brett's new partner had a crack at it. It took her a while to catch onto things. She bought her dogs. That was nice.
Aww.
A couple of spaniels that could not be more opposite, despite both being technically old dogs and a year apart. There's Baxter and Poppy, and Baxter was just like the most old man dog ever.
Yeah, sort of just like sits there, just like yeah. Oh
yeah, so would just sit there silently, and just get fussed. That was his life. He did like digging the floor though. I'm not sure. He liked doing that a lot. And his sister was just it's a ball of crazy energy, and she just wants fuss all the time. I didn't know she was she really didn't seem like an 8-year-old dog at all. But she did sort of grow to keep bothering me for fuss. So
that's amazing.
That's nice. What else was it? About Thursday, we discovered the fact Geek Retreat is now selling off individual Gundam, like it's common cards.
Singles, yeah, they got a bulk box. It's like yes. Nice.
Pays me with the boosters every time.
Yeah, I might build a mono green Gundam Wing deck somehow, because you've got Gundam Wing and then you've got Gundam Wing bird mode.
There's flight mode, yes.
It's like, but the other card it specifically says bird mode, and I'm like, hey, too like to go into bird mode.
They start pecking people.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop. No, so that's them not bothered looking for extra mechs rather than risk it through RNG. Wish I known about that before, but now I know.
But I mean, you've got some good rarer ones though, at least.
No, I do like that. Every time I get a booster, honestly, the odds of you getting a decent mainline Gundam are really high still.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Personally, I'm collecting stuff to actually play with, and I'm just going to collect as many of the actual Gundams as I can.
Fairs.
Just in case they suddenly rocket up in value later.
Yeah.
So I have a fairly healthy collection of them now. Don't know where they're all from, but I've got a rough idea now.
Yeah. And on that same day as well, we discovered that for some reason the other storylines in Dynasty Warriors 7, you can't co-op them. For some reason, you want to...
it's like Lubu's campaign is one player.
Yeah.
The Yellow Turban one is one player. It didn't have the characters for it.
It is a little disappointing though, because like surely with like Lubu's campaign, like the second person could be like Diao Chow, his wife or whatever.
Yeah, I guess didn't think of that back in whenever they made it.
Yeah.
As for today, oh my god! So it's a charity event.
Nice.
In Coventry. So I checked out the hobby shop scene there and found one literally tucked away in the middle of like practically a student village, which was it's called Surprise Encounter.
Ah.
Literally tucked into this weird, very hippie-ish looking, sort of like indie shop village place.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, if you like White Wolf stuff, like I was tempted to get, there is some old stuff in there.
Nice.
I'm not just talking vampire. There's expansions, and the other World Dots games like Mummy the Resurrection, then Wraith.
Wow.
They even had a copy of the Changeling one.
Right.
Like if you like White Wolf, I've never seen so much White Wolf sold in one place. It was great. Definitely like 80s and 90s era stuff. There was some Greyhawk stuff from like 88.
Oh, damn.
There.
Wow.
Yeah. And some newer stuff I picked up. There's the best money I picked up the second edition Warhammer Fantasy Roll in my life, really. It is similar to how I remember the original being, as in I have a copy of the original. I'm not actually that old yet. But I had to check. They have removed the Druid class or career.
Right.
Which makes me a bit sad, because I liked how stupidly hardcore it was. Because that thing I've told you, it's the class where if you want to have a career in it, you have to consult the gods to level up and defeat a druid stronger than you.
The gods might just go, nah.
Yeah. They have dropped it from the newer version, which makes me a bit sad. They do have stuff like you can literally be like your career can be servant. I do like how that's in there. I like it. It's true to the original, but it's dropped some of the really OG stuff. So that's been my week, and it's not going to get any quieter. I believe all of next week I've got at least one mascot event, because for some reason all these schools in Birmingham decided this is the week that they're going to have an assembly for the hospice. So at least one a day next week.
Ooh, sheesh.
It's going to be a busy one.
Is it because like children in need occur around about this time? Is that why? So it's
kind of maybe.
It's like, oh, it's mascot month.
I guess I don't. It's different. It's for the hospice, so it's a different cause. So
yeah.
Schools have all decided this week is going to be the week they're assembling.
Fair enough. So, I don't know. I've not been up to a whole lot this week, because it's kind of that calm before the storm that is December. In my, I guess, line of work, I am, however, considering I think there's a Comic-Con coming up in Walsall apparently, and there's one. Obviously, there's this MCM either this month or next month, and I'm like, do I? Oh, my signal's just dropped. That's weird. Okay, that's back.
So it's not an MC? Is it an MCM one or not? Just
the one in Walsall is just a basic one. I believe there's an MCM Comic-Con Birmingham coming up, but I can't remember what days it's on.
It's 27th to the 30th, I believe.
Ah, well, I'm glad you're more clued up at it than I am, because I've kind of lost the plot.
Meant to be going with Ted.
Ah, neat.
But I think that's been called off because stuff had to get paid for. These
things happen.
Stuff. Which is why I had the money for the Warhammer roleplay thing. I thought, right, at least I got the 50 quid knocking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our first segment, the big project time.
This big project. I've done a couple in the 2 weeks. So I rounded off a few extra bits for Talislanta. So it's been great for a hex map thing this time.
Nice.
because I quite like hex map stuff just because it fits how I produce stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can make a small dungeon or a big dungeon, and then I can sort of go there. So far, it's literally a couple of fully fleshed out dungeons. Just somewhere near the forest, somewhere near Smoke. It's called the Dead Forest. It's
Be a bit weird if a place is called the Dead Forest and it wasn't actually dead.
Yeah, well, Tasland is a weird one because they have somewhere called just the Jungle Lands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an overall place, and then like subsections under it. But then they have the Dead Forest, which is a specific big old forest which is partially petrified. What they want to do is temperate to start the actual thing off. And forest just seems nice, and there's a lot you can do with the forest.
Yeah, you could tap it for green mana.
You can. I've just got a couple of locations. I have an old big theme with the Talasanta in general is old buildings that used to be owned by somebody else. Well, the ruins are on purpose in this one because they can't really build new, but they can build new stuff. But a lot of tribes don't have access to like smithing and forging and stuff like that. So they use a lot of squatting in old ruins and stuff. So I figured that's a great place just to have an introductory location. I can mess about with darkness mechanics, which are actually really important because I don't think any playable races actually really get dark vision.
Yeah.
So darkness is a real thing. There's no magic. There's little to no magic, so it's survival heavy. And I find it's a really good way to sneak in little stuff about the actual setting of the game without me having to tell you in fine detail. Because it's probably like a random encounter with like it's worth a spoil. It's not a massive giveaway with a member of a Golgoth tribe. So the Golgoths they're like a lot of the tribes are basically humans, but the Golgoths are basically they dress very, very evil, like they're opposing a heavy metal album kind of evil. And they're known for being slavers. They're just known for being massive dicks. But that does mean that they tend to have really good armor and weapons, so you might want to kill them.
Yeah.
And he's already fighting a giant snake, so you sort of come across this thing fighting a giant snake. So it's like, do you intervene or not? I mean, there's no like moral issue with you not doing that. It's not like they're a sympathetic lot in the slightest. And if you do, you get access to like actual metal weapons, which is not something you often do in Talislanta because it's just kind of a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Also, it's a good way to get players engaged. I think just say like, oh, you know about this tribe. They're bad news. Also, and I'm throwing out them in a way that it's not completely overpowered because they're already doing with something else that's not you. But when you get there, and establish the fact that big monsters here just kind of exist. It's nature's kind of taken over here.
I'd like Kong Skull Island kind of vibes.
Yeah, but with slightly more industry. But yes, very much that kind of vibe. Most tribes are unarmored, so the Golgoth's kind of weird, and they constantly have metal armor. So
I've got 2 bushels on backup.
They do have a lot of throwing spears. I've been thinking about that.
Me checking my arrows every 5 minutes. It's okay. I've got enough arrows.
That's just I need to replay that game. That's a solid one. Should have had a remaster. And then I thought, okay, what's next? I put a little river down because I'd been re-downloaded an old map hex making it quite like it's a nice free one, and I put in a mine because I thought, what might drop. People tend to explore mines for some reason, and usually it can mean decent weapons and armor, which in this setting is even more important.
Yes.
That's a way for me to include other things, like there's a potential encounter with a tribe of beastmen, which are not like the Warhammer ones, but they are like strange, sort of wolf-like, but not really. Again, they're a really common thing in Palestanta. But they're the most populous kind of tribe going. They're not all. They're not one tribe, but they're the most common species, and they often. But they have the orc thing of they fight each other a hell of a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But they do look really, really cool, and they're very common and everywhere. Thought, right, they would probably hang out. Maybe give one of them an actual iron sword or something to. Well, they found it in a mine. Why not? And introduce the Undermen, who are like weird subterranean humanoids that are really, really creepy. I think I've talked about them a few times on here. They're just really cool looking.
Yeah.
So just ways for me to subtly introduce like lore without explaining it before the game starts.
Makes sense.
It just felt like a neat little world building thing. I don't want to continue on it too much because I have this thing where I'll write something to the point of I need someone to play it now, and then I'll see what the players do, and then I'll evolve it based on what they want to do. But I have a solid 2 locations mapped out, and I've got one more as a session 0, so I feel I could get a few sessions out of it already. So I've switched over to a new more open project where I will just do a homebrew monster of anything, any type, not fussy, a day, and just add to it until it becomes a monster manual organically.
Nice.
And I'm on day 3, and I've got about 3 or 4 entries. Well, the first one actually was a crab, based on the one from the King Kong game, because I thought...
Yes.
There are giant crabs, but what if I made a different thematic crab? It would be interesting.
Giant enemy crab.
And unlike previous times I've done it, I'm just keeping it rule of cool. Like, what I want to make today, I'm just going to make this thing. It doesn't have to be a big drama of what it is. It just has to be rule of cool and fit what I would like to make that day. And then I'll just compile it all together at the end, and it will be a whole monster manual I can call upon whenever I need it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on.
Sorry, I just want to point out as well. So, I don't know if King Kong, the Skull Island took inspiration from this, or it was like a thing, but apparently the giant enemy crab trope began in 2006 on an E3 demo for Genji Days of the Blade. And apparently it's a joke about attack the giant enemy crab for massive damage.
I did not know the origin. Okay,
Yeah.
I think the King Kong was 2005 as well, something like that.
Yeah.
2006. So that's pretty funny.
It's funny how, like, ever since that sort of era, loads of games just had a random giant enemy crab. Even games that didn't necessarily make sense having giant enemy crabs, like Elden Ring. Why does Elden Ring have a giant enemy crab?
They have the worst crabs. They're like weird, like spear launched lobsters. Yeah. They're awful.
So, my thing for the project isn't a giant enemy crab. In fact, it's actually less giant than most things in the setting.
That's okay.
So I finally figured out, by cross-referencing some of the pilot stuff with some other bits, how to do NPCs, like little ones, for Lancer. So I've finally done my first NPC for the Nova Grappler stuff, and it is, of course, the slightly sexualized Razor girls, which for some reason they decided to make cheerleading girls with robot girls with, I guess they have broad breasts. Who knows why? It's anime. Anime does weird things. Anyway,
that makes sense.
They have umbrella shields, which is kind of cool. Which does give them armor 1 because they could just shield it with their thing. They could just, you know, where's the blinking thing? God, there it is. So, they are a support type NPC, mass-produced robot. 4 health, which is 2 less than a standard pilot, because I figured if you want to do like basic mooks, you should probably have them be slightly less than the player.
Yeah.
Because I know that Lancer really focuses on mech combat, but not every combat in theory is gonna be a mech combat. Occasionally, you're gonna have to get down and dirty with some, personnel to personnel stuff. Surely, particularly in certain campaigns. So they got evasion 11, which is slightly higher than average. E defense is 9, which is lower than average because they're a robot, not a person, so they're more vulnerable. They have 0 in grit, like a lot of NPCs are probably going to have, so they don't get bonuses to anything. Size half, which is the same as pilots, armor 1. They get charm 1, hack and fix 1, and patch 1. And they get a special, which I might start doing as like a thing in general for like NPCs and maybe like things that players can get. So you know like how pilot skills you can only use in your mech.
Yeah.
Special skills will be the opposite. So they're skills you can only use when you're out of a mech.
Right.
So she has heal trigger, which is a common trope on Vanguard cards. Which is once per scene, this unit can heal 1d4 health points of a life form or mech within 60 feet of it as a quick action. Really basic, but you know, it gives them something they can do, and they have an integrated SMG, which is a range 3 and just deals 1 kinetic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, and now that I know this system, I'm gonna start making more NPCs using the generic stuff from Vanguard for this clan. There's actually quite a lot of weird stuff. We've got 3 Minutes, Cat Butler, Red Lightning, Starker Wind, Blade Arm Leprechaun, Rocket Hammerman, who kind of looks like a character out of Mega Man, as does
He does sound like a Mega Man boss.
Yeah. I'm Rocket Man.
A Rocket Hammerman. They rebuilt Rocket Man. They just gave him a hammer, and that was enough for a personality change.
Yeah, he does look like a weird crossbreed, like a weird cross between Proto Man and Amy Rose, because the hammer is very similar to the Pico Pico hammer.
That is a choice.
Yeah. Bro's got the Rocket Pico hammer for some reason. So I'm probably going to work on those the next week, and there'll be a load more NPC stuff for actual NPC-based combat.
Okay. That sounds good.
So, moving on to Critical Football.
Right, this one does sort of lean into a little bit into what I've been reading, but I had to bring this up because it's really, really funny. So one thing I've been watching is like someone played. I've seen D&D channels do one-shot runs of an infamous module called the Forest Oracle. If you've heard of it, I think it's AD&D.
Oh right.
And it was, I think it was the writer's first attempt at writing a D&D module, and it got published.
Oh.
Yes, there's a few key points. I won't bore you. It's quite a long thing, but it's very, very railroady, and there's parts where it's very, very funny, but not because it's trying to be. So the plot's really simple. It's just, this small region has had a blight. Can you? They think a witch did it. Can you help deal with that? However, there's a few things, because this is one of the cases where if you run it as written, this eventually makes no sense. Like the first thing is, so I'll try and find the map for it for reference. So there's one road the players are told to follow. You'd think, okay, how do you miss that? How do you get lost? So when the players decide to set off, the DM has to roll to see if the players get lost.
Okay.
So you can miss the one road somehow. And then, of course, because it's AD&D, what do you do when there's nothing to do? Random encounter time. And a lot of these are quite boring. You've got like a group of the numbers are at random. Like some would be 10 and 20, but you got orcs, rats, skeletons, frogs for some reason, gnolls, harpies. But there's only one table for the whole thing, so you roll randomly. For anytime you do a random encounter, you use only apparently what's on here. So you could roll 10 if you really wanted to. 40 kobolds as a single encounter.
That just sounds like death, which, now that I think about it, is very AD&D.
Yeah, but there are some funnier options. You could roll, if you roll a 2, 10 to 20 baboons appear.
Baboons!
Yes, they're just there. And I know the thing they do actually roll this for the actual one shot. So 20 baboons just appeared, rolled a second random encounter, and there were 17 cavemen.
Oh, I got. Let me do an artist recreation of the scene. So, I was on foraging, like hunting patrol with me guys. You know, with 16 other cavemen, and we get to this clearing, right, and there's like 20 like monkey fellas, like with the red asses.
Yeah. Yes. Also, there's also giant ants, 1 to 20.
Bruh.
So you can kill one giant ant. God knows what that's doing there by itself. The random table is the most random I think I've ever seen. Which I do kind of like that. That's very silly. But after that, there's a fixed encounter, and it's with bandits. So they say that's not that weird. But here is, I'm going to read word for word the box text for this, how this encounter starts. A group of 7 men approaches. They are following the road east and are making good time, neither tarrying nor running. Their faces are expressionless. One is dressed as a cleric of some sort, and another dressed as a travelling drummer. The others could be peasants or serfs going from one location to another for the harvest season. Each carries some sort of weapon. It's plain they are not some soldiers by their haphazard way of walking. They don't seem to be joking loudly or singing as they advance. And then a fight happens. It's heavily implied.
What?
No. That's how. Yeah.
There's no like, oh yeah, these guys, like DM's tip, these guys are dressed in disguise in order to, you know, stop passing carriages and burgle them. No,
that's the exact box text, exactly as is written. Then there's some odd plot points, like, so apparently you can turn down the quest at some point and say, I don't want to do this. However, if you do, a comedy large net, God knows where it comes from, falls on you, you are knocked out, and then you're killed out to do the quest anyway.
What? What?
Yeah. It's amazing. I didn't see that one happen. There's an NPC. It's really funny. I don't know what her name actually is. It's a nymph called Chloe, who is described as being a 16-year-old girl. Don't know why they're focusing on that bit, but they focus on that little bit.
That's a little bit weird.
Yeah. So, the first time you meet her, there's by a lake where everything around it is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to get a picture in your head while I describe this. There's a reveal thing. So she reveals that her boyfriend Evan, or partner, that someone that she's into, Evan, has fallen asleep and she needs your help to wake him up. She for some reason she can't do this by herself. Keep in mind the guy's age is not written. He could be older. Who knows?
What? I'm not. See, now I'm imagining. Now you mentioned age, and now I'm imagining her boyfriend's like some sort of weird 80-year-old man who's just gone for a nap.
Yeah, it could be. It could be older. Here's the weird bit. But when she says boyfriend, there's like it turns out he's not really that into her, like, at all.
Ah,
She's just decided he's gonna be her partner, and so she put him to sleep.
what? Oh,
The whole sleep spell is her fault.
that does feel like something nymphs do, don't they? Like claim
Yeah.
people and stuff. But the fact that she can't wake him up from the spell that she
Yeah.
caused.
Oh, by the way, the way you wake them up is you can just shake them awake. Anything obvious will just work. She just never tried the most basic thing for reasons I do not know.
Why is this an encounter? Why is this here? This is like more filler. This is more filler than your average One Piece episode.
But for doing it, you get 100 gold each and a potion of invisibility.
That seems weirdly generous for an AD&D side quest reward.
You know the potion for actually curing is at 20,000 gold apparently. So every time you do a thing, it's like you get at least 100 gold each.
What?
Yeah, it's.
What level is this supposed to be?
It's like 4 to 6.
Oh, that's
6
not.
players.
That's not too bad, I guess. But
yeah, there's a tavern where you can overhear several different things like goblins and orcs are raiding to the west of the Dragon Teeth Mountains as stones to block the mountain.
Fucking god! It's Oblivion NPC dialogue.
Kind of is. You can get like 6. Oh god, there's like 8 different things. They all sound like individual quests. I don't know if you can do all or none of those.
I feel like it's just like it's a bit like things in Oblivion. Like any news from the other provinces, nothing that I'd like to talk about. It's like, oh yeah, here's what's happening elsewhere that you aren't doing.
Not right
Thanks.
Now. Oh yes. Also, now the caves are very overly described. Like because they didn't use maps for this, it's all theatre of the mind. It mentions exact sizes and entrances and measurements. So it'll say like that 3,000 feet up, as if you can see 3,000 feet up.
Right.
Or as if you know the cavern is 3,000 feet long, 800 feet wide, and 20 feet high. That's fun.
I guess that might be more of an AD&D-ism than this writer.
I suspect so. But I just imagining a character with low intelligence taking a look at this cave and going, this is exactly 3,000 feet long.
And some of this is probably because, like, during testing or something, one player, like, figured out some stupid thing or played as Narakokra. It's like, I'm going to fly up there. It's like, okay, there is nothing up there for, like, 3,000 feet. Why are you doing this? Please stop!
I don't think it is. Yeah, that's a good point. I do wonder how could I convert this into something that's more playable in 5th edition, while keeping all the plot points. To be fair, I would love to throw in 20 baboons into any game. That'd be hilarious.
I feel like you like Monty Python it a little bit.
You know, it does feel very Monty Python. I think on it.
My boyfriend, he's fallen asleep. He has. Well, have you tried waking him? What kind of stupid suggestion is that?
Yeah.
You bloody idiot, you are!
So it really does feel like Monty Python bit, now I think on it. It's just this series of increasingly strange encounters that have no connection to each other.
Sire!
Apart from
Your Majesty, look ahead! There's 17 male baboons! 17 of them!
Because I do. I'm not sure if I love or hate this one because it's very funny. I
feel that's going to be the episode title now. 17 male baboons.
That will confuse people. Yes. At the actual end of the first. This is a long thing. At the end of the first part, you find a load of elven druids that all love golden sickles, And because this is AD&D, they're very particular druids.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't. They even if you're playing a druid, they don't just they say, right, you can come and speak with our leader, but to actually do the quest, because you have to do this. This is not optional.
This is not optional.
You,
That
you
feels
have,
like AD&D in a nutshell. This is
Yep.
not optional.
Yes, but you have to hand over all your weapons and armor, unless you have, for some reason, a golden sickle, which we're kind of okay with you having.
What?
They've decided golden sickles are kind of their thing. So,
Okay.
and they ask you questions about your quest, and if you lie even slightly, they magically know you are lying and say you have to leave and come back when you're going to be honest.
That also sounds very Monty Python-esque. It's like they could have explained how though, like zone of truth or something. Who bloody knows.
Yeah.
See, that would be an interesting dynamic. Like the whole Druid Grove is inside of a big perpetual, you know, zone of truth, which means you have to be truthful, but so do they. It's like,
That's a good point. Yeah. So it's a very silly module. I kind of like it, but it's a bit ridiculous.
What a moment. So
So yes,
so
Forest Oracle
yeah.
is pretty free. It's from the mid '80s, so you are it's pretty safe to look at it for free whenever you like.
Nice. My critical fumble for this week is actually Us Pair for some reason.
Let me know.
So, for those of people that have played a Dynasty Warrior game before, you might know that the Way storyline is a bit weird, and it involves, running away from a certain man. So that's the first mission.
That's cool.
So, we actually have a couple of critical fumbles between us. The first was, there's a mission in the Way storyline where Lu Bu shows up halfway through it, and it doesn't really explain it all too well that you're supposed to run past him.
It says he's here.
Yeah, we died several times being one-shotted by his Musu attack before our friend pointed this out to us.
Just run.
The
other
other critical fumble is perhaps more on the game than it is on us, and that is, in co-op mode, ambushes don't really work properly. As in, one person goes in the ambush zone and gets locked in, and the other player is, unless they've been following with them, like in lockstep, is stuck outside.
Oh yeah, I keep getting locked. Yeah, keep getting locked out of gates because the event will trigger before I can get through the door.
Yeah, one time you got locked in with Lu Bu, didn't you?
No, there's a theme developing. I keep getting locked out.
Yeah, and I keep getting locked in. Because I got locked in a scene where they decided to throw 5 juggernauts at me and 2
random encounter
officers. As you do. Jeez.
This is the same mission too. They got you twice.
At least the second time was actually much easier.
Yeah.
But it was you could at least either TP the other player or let the other player go in the ambush zone, but don't let the other person out. Using the same method of invisible walls that the out of bounds areas do for co-op, maybe. So that I'm not fucked. I just hope there isn't an ambush mission somewhere where instead of it being officers, it's just Lu Bu.
I don't want to spoil it. Bizarrely.
Fuck.
It might be. It might be. It might not. But I don't want to look it up just in case.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So that's my.
I don't want to spoil a game about this thousands of year old worth story.
Yeah. So that's my critical fumble of the week. I did also find out that on certain sites you can get third-party brick-built Dynasty Warriors characters. Well, they're clearly more toward the Dynasty Warrior design than the actual Mythos design, as evidenced by the not Lego Lubu that I found.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I could get a tiny Lubu for my city. Because my central square area already kind of looks like the weirdest Dynasty Warriors like zone ever, with all like the characters packed together. So Lubu would be right at home. So let's move on to our next section, homebrew of the week.
Week. Yes, I believe the theme was aquatic bird.
Yes.
I weirdly struggled with this one because that was very broad. But I did find what I made up with didn't actually turn out to be a bird, but is named after one.
Okay.
So I was working on Lancer stuff,
Nice.
and I had this idea because Seed did so good at having these that you don't see many designs for mechs built primarily for underwater combat. And I think that's kind of
actually a good point.
And Seed has the goon, which is a name.
It was likely named before gooning.
It is spelled differently as well.
Yeah.
I did find a couple in the commons box. I had to have them. Why did I not? But I thought, okay, what would an aquatic mech look like? And I made went down a bit of a rabbit hole and made this thing, which I called the Seahawk. So it's designed to be like, it is half humanoid, half not. It's so specialized for underwater combat, it doesn't even have legs, because I just figured that wouldn't be that useful underwater whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
So instead, it has a humanoid sort of upper torso, but the lower body is sort of like it's almost vaguely shaped like something you would squeeze a lemon onto. It sort of rotates sort of like a turbine, so it's quite fast underwater. Also, it's got like a built-in sort of magazine of small depth charges. Could figure that's a lot of underwater combat is mines and depth charges and things like that. So I want to build that into the frame. That's got range of 15, but only down or directly behind it. You literally can't change it. Then I thought, okay, what weapons? Torpedoes, because obviously bullets don't really do much, and the Lancer laser rifles have half the range of a regular rifle for some reason.
That's really weird.
That was kind of screwy. So I gave them the torpedo rifles, which have a +1 hit modifier when underwater. So deliberately designed for this entire thing is underwater central. It's rubbish everywhere else practically. Yeah. And then they're not really weird. Like, well, what would it have to otherwise protect itself? I thought, I know. It's got not quite squid arms. It's got 6 sort of mecha tentacles that just whack stuff as a last ditch weapon.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The idea was like I was actually thinking of how would they even transport these things, and I have this idea that you could transport these by sort of locking them into the side of certain battleships. So if you needed to, you could use them as a way of just laying down depth charges without ever having to launch the mech. Just sort of load up. So they'll sort of load up with the turbine facing down, so that it'd be weird, but you could use it as an improvised sort of airdrop strategy, which would be weird, but that's a thing.
I can see it.
And the other thing is, when I thought, like, when you drop them, I thought, well, if you drop them straight down and they're sort of pointed at the bottom, they're just faster to eat, and it's easier for them to get into a proper position to just move about underwater.
Makes sense.
So it's hyper specialized, but I thought it's really just a really fun idea. It got to the point where thinking how the actual depth charge would work. I thought I was getting a little too into my own head, and I thought, right, okay, now we've done all right on this one. I'm happy with it now. My only annoyance is it's not really a bird, but it's named after one. But I'll go with it now. I'm quite content with it. Yeah. So what did you work with the aquatic bird?
I remember. I remember that other weird waterfowl exist that aren't geese, aren't ducks, aren't swans, etc. Have you ever heard of a cormorant?
Yes, I have.
It's what the Pokemon Cramorant was based on. They swallow things whole, generally. And so, based on itself, but also with some hints from the Pokemon, I have come up with a dire cormorant.
That's funny. Is it? So imagine it's bigger.
Yes.
Is there anything else special about it?
Oh, is there indeed? Obviously, it's a waterfowl, so it takes half damage from attacks that involve water, such as the Tsunami spell, and it has a swim speed of relatively standard. It has Iron Stomach. The dire cormorant can swallow any small or smaller creature or object, and takes no passive piercing or slashing damage from objects or creatures it consumes. Obviously, different. I say passive as in, like, so unless the thing inside of it attacks it, basically. If it's like let's say it swallows a pufferfish, it won't take any damage from the pufferfish spines unless the pufferfish actively attacks.
Okay. What about man-made stuff? Will that
the same with that? Yeah, it could swallow swords.
Okay.
It could swallow one object each turn as a bonus action on each of its turns, basically. And it's a capacity of 3 objects or creatures at a time. It always starts off with an item in its stomach, usually a fish. This will be important later. It also has an ingest attack, which is a bit similar to the engulf attack of the gelatinous cube, but it can only do it against creatures of size small or smaller, obviously. And it can swallow small or smaller creatures. So if you're, say, I don't know,
fairy.
Yeah, a fairy, or I guess is a dwarf small?
Medium, gnomes? Gnomes,
small? Yeah, I think gnomes are like the one small. So if you're a gnome, you might, you might get swallowed. It deals 1d6 acid damage and engulfs them if they fail to save. It's an opposing athletics grapple check, which they're not particularly great at. They only have 10 strength, so it's not like there's a massive risk of getting swallowed whole. But it could happen. It'd be very funny. Engulfed creature can't breathe. Is restrained. Takes 2d6 acid damage at the start of each of its turns. When it moves, the engulfed creature moves with it, as it makes sense.
Okay.
And an engulfed creature can attempt to escape by making a DC 12 strength check, and a success, it escapes and enters a space of its choice within 5 feet of the cormorant. Here's the weird bit.
Right.
Spit up. It requires ammo. What ammo, you ask? Well, whatever it is swallowed.
Swallowed.
It's a ranged weapon attack, plus 4 to hit, range 40 feet, 1 target. And it deals 1d8 plus 1 of the damage type that makes the most sense. For example, piercing if the object was a sword, bludgeoning if it was a fish, or possibly even fire damage if it swallowed a bottle of alchemist's fire or something similar. This thing could also swallow potions, and then basically spit up the potion effect.
Oh, that's almost like a monster hunter creature at that point.
Yeah, it's like, but it's mostly going to like shoot fish and maybe your sword back at you. Bearing in mind, on a certain, I guess I haven't written it in here, but it would be a check anyway. It could just straight up swallow your sword. and then spit it back at you.
I think you'd have to leave it loose.
Mm-hmm. And it also has a peck, just standard +3 to hit, 1d6 piercing. So it has a basic attack as well. But yeah, the dire cormorant, something a bit silly, but also weirdly makes sense. Because the actual bird just swallows things whole. I don't know if cormorants have actually shot fish at people, but I think it's a funny idea.
I don't know. Why did I drop out? I don't know. What did you just say there? Sorry, my Discord tried to drop me from the call.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit silly, but it also kind of makes a lot of sense as well. So it's kind of rooted in nature.
No, that's actually what a bird would do. They're probably not that bright.
Yeah, just fish in face. Imagine being killed by a fish though, being shot at you.
So, what about the swallowing like attack? Does it drop if you take a set amount of damage? Because a lot of the creatures that do that have a weird thing of if it takes X amount of damage, it will just spit up whatever it's swallowing.
Let me have a look at its stats.
So it's fine if not.
It's only got 10 health, so I didn't put it down because this thing is
That's
only borderline CR1.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's only just CR1 despite its low health because it can do some silly bullshit.
The ability can be good.
Yeah, and it's flying as well, which is something like this could be really annoying.
Yeah, I could see it.
But yeah, so it's I didn't put anything down specifically for that because it has such low health anyway.
No, that's fair.
But yes, so that's my homebrew of the week. It'll be available in the Discord. For those that wish to join the Discord channel, you can find it via the description of the Twitch page, which is in the description of the blah 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 the YouTube. And thank you, DJ Atvers, for the redeeming Thirsty Goose. I will have a drink. I've got a lovely cup of tea.
It's a good addition.
And yes, so on to...
Oh, Goon, by the way, is 9p apparently on according to Chaos Cards. That's fun. Right.
So on to our next section, Sounds Like Gaming. For all of your
Sounds like gaming.
Funny related things that might work well in tabletop stuff.
Yes, I've been watching a lot of stuff that's just come out. I admittedly, it's not the soundtrack front's been a bit quiet for the most part. Although, no, actually, no, I tell lies. Something important did come out lately. I might have mentioned the game Look Outside a few months back, maybe.
Possibly? It seems familiar.
It's a horror game, a cosmic horror game where you play as a man who wakes up one day to find that people that look outside become weird mutant things.
Oh.
But you can't. It's one of those things of the rule is just don't look outside.
Yeah. Yep.
The whole mystery is what the hell is it? You don't have to look first. And of course, the first thing you can do is look outside and get a game over. It's one of those games that was like Fear and Hunger. It will absolutely let you make that mistake. And it doesn't. It does not care for your sass at all. It has a really interesting. It sounds like a really good 80s horror synth soundtrack. It's like something John Carpenter would have made in the best years of his career.
Right.
And it had a 2.0 update. I mean, the game was already done, but they added more stuff. Which means more optional encounters, more areas, which is weird because it's set in a flat building, but it starts messing around with non-Euclidean space, so what appears to be one apartment with 2 rooms suddenly becomes a whole dungeon of itself.
Interesting.
And it's well, what else is there? There's a few like areas. There's a flooded basement with its own weirdo set of mutants in there. And keep in mind that they pretty much all used to be people, apart from the bugs that became more human as a result of this thing. So there's talking little cockroach people. It's a weird one because the game is a horror game, but with a lot of killer things out to kill you. But there's also a lot of options for just stuff that is definitely scary, but not out to get you. It's just like, oh, hi. I'm just kind of weird now. I guess that's a thing. Like, yeah, but the soundtrack's got this really sort of almost sad 80s horror synth stuff vibe to it, and I really like it. It kind of matches. It's a really solid game. I think the soundtrack's great. It's worth a go, and the game itself is nice and weird. It's a little more forgiving than Fear and Hunger, as in you can level up, you can rest quite reliably, and there's a lot of friendly NPCs you can pick up if you know how, but they all have their own weirdo conditions.
Makes sense.
Like some of them are really quite rough. Like one of them is actually appears first as a boss monster that you can fight, but it's really hard. But you can convince them to sort of tag along with you.
Yeah.
If you do the optional thing, which is neat. One of them you can get really early on. That every sort of apartment had its own like story. There's no two mutations are the same unless it's like the same building. Like there's one they call them the Tooth family. They're kind of fun. Basically, there's a baby near the window that looked out the window and became a strange giant tooth baby. It's like teeth where the eyes should be, kind of thing. It's all about teeth everywhere. Then it started biting. Then because it was scared and probably confused, it started biting people, and they grew teeth everywhere. And so you can recruit a guy who has like just teeth forever. Who's, apart from the fact that he can barely talk because his mouth is pretty much taking over his face, he's quite a normal dude, which is again just a theme you find is that these are people that are not really normal looking anymore, but they still remember mostly what it's like to be human. Mostly. It's a really weird cosmic horror. I kind of like it. It's got some new endings, and the soundtrack's actually separate to buy. It's very good. I recommend look outside. I don't think they'll do too much more with it, but it feels like a very full package now.
Cool.
So yeah.
So lately, I've been thinking about perhaps one of the biggest oddities in the entirety of the series, Pokemon Colosseum.
The first or the second one?
Colosseum, not XD.
Okay.
I mean, both kind of fall into the same boat. Yeah, this early on in the sort of, what was it, Ruby and Sapphire era. They're just like, you know what would be interesting? A post-apocalyptic Pokemon game.
Oh, that is interesting. I thought you were going to say trumpets there, because Gen 3.
No. It was just like, yeah, we'll just have a game set in like this. It's either like a really deserty region, but like even the aesthetic of the characters and the way they look screams post-apocalyptic world, which is really weird if you've ever played or seen much of it.
Yeah, I've played it, but I liked it.
It looks kind of like a kid-friendly version of Fallout New Vegas.
It kind of is.
And the music kind of reflects that. So you've got, because like Pyrite Town's theme is like really, there's like harmonica and stuff in it, which is really weird.
Very Western.
Yeah, very, very, very Western. You got like the one nice clean place, the sort of secret village looking place. You got this massive stadium city, again in the middle of the blinking desert. Some of the locations. And it all just, there's this aesthetic about it that is just so far removed from the architecture and vibe of near enough every other Pokemon game, even ones after it. It's just... But there's also the one fucking weird moment that is also pretty weird for Pokemon, where a guy with an afro shows up and suddenly we're listening to Spanish samba music.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. That's really cool, doesn't he?
Yeah, just with his two Ludicolos. Why does this happen? I don't have a clue, but I guess we're having a Mexican samba moment now. It's very, very weird. So that's my Sounds Like Gaming for this week. Mirror B's theme. Why is it there? I don't know, but it is kind of a jam. And you know what? I could legitimately see Mirror B's theme being used in Cyberpunk Red. It would actually work for something in like a club in a Cyberpunk Red campaign.
Okay.
Imagine, like a bar fight or something. Should that go on the background?
Pokemon bar fight. Pokeballs flying everywhere. Being used as weapons. Just throwing them at people.
We're not even like Pokemon battling. We're just using the Pokemon as blunt objects. So we're just like using a Linoon like a whip. Somebody else has got an some crazy person's got an actual Honage that they're actually using as a sword.
I've always thought like Machoke is just the most bodyguard type Pokemon.
It's weird how you mostly see them as moving/removal men and not like club bouncers.
Yeah.
Not that Pokemon has many clubs, apart from in the first game, weirdly enough. The one that you're not allowed to enter. Because your character is too young.
That was just bait to make you want to go clubbing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you are allowed in the game corner, which is weird, because that's literally...
You can gamble. Yeah. Gambling's fine.
Gambling, fine. Consuming alcohol, you got to be 21 for that. But yeah, that's even like the design of the vehicle used in Blinking Colosseum feels very post-apocalyptic. It kind of like half post-apocalyptic, half Star Wars pod racer, which is a bit weird.
A game I've not thought about in ages. Jeez, right. I forget. Is it the first or second one that has the one early boss fight where, for some reason, he has an Entei level 40?
That's the first one. Yeah.
Oh, that's mean.
That's when you go to the stadium for the first time and he just has a shadow Entei. It's like, that's fine. I got burned by that guy. That's when my run as a kid stopped, because because grinding in that game is also not very easy because there are no wild Pokemon.
Can't you just rebattle trends over and over again?
I think there's a few that you can, but remembering which ones you can rebattle. Also, even though you can rebattle some of them, it still takes bloody ages to get Pokemon leveled up.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Anyway, I think that's it for this episode of the Byzantian Brewscast. Do we have... Oh, yes, we need to spin the wheel as well. Closing thoughts and spin that wheel.
I just googled the wheel. I was thinking out loud. I just googled with no. Ah, yes, the wheel.
Invented in 3 million BC.
All the history of the wheel. We did more stuff for it. We're down to 4 things.
Wow.
Lancer, 1E remastered. Oh, you mentioned that. Impractical Object and Primitive/Tribal.
Hey.
We should do a roundup of things to add this week.
Yes.
I guess. And okay, that's good. That's been sitting here ages. Primitive/Tribal is. I am very well equipped for this one.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a monster. It doesn't have to be D&D the system. It can be just fit the theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right then, all. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I'm gonna need to sleep a lot this week. Is because I've got a lot of early starts. I know one's at 2, but most of them in the morning. So I'm going to have an interesting week. Then I got a rugby match on Saturday, so no rest until Sunday.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Hetty's Hedgehog will be busy, but I'll have a few pints on the Saturday, I guess. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So, as my closing thought is, now that I've figured out, again, just reiterating, now that I've figured out how to do NPCs, I can now continue on with this Lancer stuff. Because that was a massive roadblock for a while. Because even Lancer doesn't really know how to do its NPCs really that well. Apparently.
It leads with the mechs, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Let us know your favourite Lancer mech if you play the system. And we will see you guys in the next episode of the podcast. Remember to catch us live on twitch.tv/KerrickJacksack. And yeah, it's been a good one. I enjoy making these, as I'm sure my co-host does too. So it's goodbye from me, KerrickJacksack. See you guys in the next one. See you next week. Same goose time, same weird channel.
Thinking about all these horror games out there, I noticed that most of them basically follows